Hey, folks, how's it going? This is Focus here in my living room, chilling out, YouTube Live, Focus Rap. So, how's everybody doing? You're all coping, hanging in there, you know, being creative, getting fucking crazy. Me, I don't know, cabin fever starting to hit me. Um, you know, I'm trying to get as much fresh air as I can, and I'm lucky because I live down in the beaches in the East End area. So I'm able to go somewhere nice by the water, relax and chill. Um, I don't know how you guys coping. Are you exercising? Are you making healthy food? Are you doing good, positive things? Me myself, I'm back to cooking, and cooking is a huge therapeutic thing for me. I made bread yesterday, and I went live on Instagram making bread. That was probably the worst cooking show ever, but the bread turned out amazing, fantastic. So that's what really counts in the end. Cares about the production quality. But eventually, I will get a cooking show going that I do want to get going, and there'll be lots of musical guests cooking with me, and yeah, a whole bunch of different uh, variety of things to include in just a musical interview. So I'm going to include cooking segments and interviews and maybe a live performance too. So be on the lookout for that on this channel. I will be creating a lot more content in the coming weeks and the coming months. I also have a podcast on this channel, which is only audio. There's no video. It's just me and a guest usually, and or me and my sidekick, Adam, talking shit, talking whatever. So check that out too. Plus, I have loads of musical videos and creative music videos that I have mostly shot on my own, and I edit all my own videos. So, there's a lot of hands on with myself. Later in this program, we are going to be interviewing the green alien from the Cool Cats video, who started my musical video, Cool Cats. That video I shot in Montreal. I was living in Montreal for about a month in the summer of 2018. I had gone on a East Coast tour by myself, and I had about 7 shows all around the East Coast. It was fantastic. It was great. I did camping. I visited friends and family, and then I decided to live in Montreal for a month. But my allergies got to me, and I was living in a place in Montreal where there's a lot of construction. Well, there's always construction in Montreal, but there was a lot of dust around, and so my allergies kind of hindered me to the apartment. I couldn't really do anything or go anywhere. I just was so exhausted. But I really wanted to create something and create a video, and I have no money. So all my videos are basically done with zero budget and no money, and so I had shot um I had shot a music video, a stop motion music video before, and it was with a Barbie doll. You can check that one out on this channel as well, and it's called Streetwalker. That was difficult to do because I'm not um, a stop motion pro, but I was given some tips by people who do that, and I had this little green alien guy who was bendable, and it made the motion a lot easier. And also, when you need like a or a subject, if you have a doll or something, you're doing stop motion, you need the legs to move sometimes, but this, I figured he's just an alien, so he can glide along and he can teleport. So I had him teleporting in the video, and he's gliding along. So I got in the car and I went north of Montreal near Tremblant, and I went up there for the day and shot him in the forest and everything. So that was the location shoot for the video, and I shot most of it in the apartment that I was staying in, and yeah, I did it all for no money, and I do this for no money. There's just basically for this is just for love. This is for passion, and I love hip hop music. Hip hop music is my life. I grew up with it. I grew up in the city here in Toronto. I was immersed in it, and any time I've had you know tough things in my life, it's hip hop that always gets me back to it. It always grounds me. It always makes me appreciate what I have, and also it gives me confidence. It gives me that motivation to do what I want to do. So last couple of days I've been, feeling shitty, and I think all of us are. It's getting to us. The isolation's getting to me. And I've always been kind of, isolated person. I'm cool with that, but just recently, a couple of years, I've been really, reaching out and being involved in more things, and I don't know, just going a little squirrely right now. So I'm making up creative things. I'm trying things, and I'm also just not worrying about fucking up at all whatsoever. Or if I look like an idiot, I don't really give a fuck. So it's all about trying things, and it's all about no fear. Really, it's about pushing yourself to what you think your potential is. So um, yeah. With that being said, I'm going to read a couple of my songs without the instrumental because I don't have the capabilities yet to run my instrumentals with this. So I'm just going to turn the light down for a bit. It's a little too bright. It's a little too. That's a little better. Forehead's glowing a bit, but that's the shitty camera I have. So I'm going to read um, a song called Escape. And now this song, um, I was stuck on the subway one day, which tends to be a lot of the time in Toronto. And a lot of people jump on the tracks and also jump off a certain bridge in at Broadview and Danforth. And, there's a lot of suicide problems, and there's code they use on the subway so they can announce it as a suicide. But we were stuck there. We were pretty much stuck in on the subway probably 15-20 minutes. Anyways, it's something hit me, and I always had usually I like to carry a pen and a pad, like a small pad, with me all the time as much as I can. um or my phone. I go into the notes part of my phone, but this something hit me right away, and I wrote this poem, and the poem kind of ended up becoming a song in my first album, Free to Choose. So this is one of my favorite songs, pretty much. And it's also, I got a music video for this one that I just posted on Instagram as well, and it's called Escape by Focus. That's me. So the hook goes: Escape with destiny, let it go, let it release. What you see and what you believe, it's not what you know, and it's not as it seems. A nice little instrumental break that comes in. There's a guitar. It's a beautiful guitar. It's a steel guitar we used for this song. Um, so another man jumped on the tracks today. Makes me wonder, did he feel trapped in his body? You hit a point only one knows what's calling them. out of the physical form. Try to find answers in your mind when you're lost. No longer will you find restrictions of time, gravity climbs. I don't see lines. My mind just unwinds. Different perspectives of death reflections, a best of life, lust to dust formations. There's another dimension, another connection beyond this concrete jungle and the barbed wire fences. But the web has been broken, replaced with falsified notions, crooked crooks approaching like vultures. They don't want you to see, live for yourself. They tapped into your senses, all what's repetitive, senseless, devices in our faces. Get out of line, and you might get tasered. Escape with destiny. Let it go, let it release. What you see and what you believe, it's not what you know, and it's not as it seems. Be. So that's Escape. That's it's a short one because it's a, I don't know, I don't really rap to it. It's more, it's a lot slower so you can take it in. So I'm going to read another one called Running Man. But before I do that, I have a tea that is ready to go. So I'm going to get my tea and be back in like 2 seconds. All right. Now we're back in business. I think I have one person watching. I don't know who it is, but maybe that's me. Maybe I'm just watching myself. I'm the watcher. The watcher, the observer, whatever you, whatever you want to call it. So this one is called Running Man. And this one is part of the Free to Choose album as well. And it has a lot of words in it. It's a 7-minute song. And I'd say half the album we recorded in 2 or 3 swoop sessions. And this one session we had, it was all a lot of it was recorded with my sister's ex-boyfriend, Andrew Frost, who's a phenomenal guitar player, singer songwriter, musician. And yeah, he laid down some serious fucking guitar for this. We had the bass and drums already laid out months prior to it, and then we just came in and got down and dirty and got tons of songs done quickly, and it just kind of formed after that. So this one's called Running Man, and there's lots of words to it, so I'm gonna read it as quickly as I can. So it goes, running, running man, 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 cunning to the end, ill vapor past, slumming, debilitating land. Never lends a hand, clever dividends, selected accidents, collecting all your sense. It's my decision if I choose. It's my decision if I lose. Torn, divide, fight, rewrite. Oh, fuck it, I've tried it. Mistakes, lies, thoughts escape, or just bad timing. The path I choose, make my own rules. Not twice, will or lose. Learn, grasp straight, and smoke some. Take off instantly with thoughts of connectivity, distant galaxies, telepathy, redestiny, astral trajectory to get away from the boundaries of this physical reality. The past a distraction, frozen fractions, frozen passage, time presumed absent, paradox aligns, thoughts crashing. The mental blockage, useless nonsense, verbal massacre of my conscience. What am I watching? What is this content? Zombie controlled. Hey, watch where you're walking. When loneliness is a motherfucker and you're left with no other. Miss alone your lifetime lover. Only mental endeavors undercover under a solo slumber. Running, running man. I maintain, brain to scramble, deranged, doing the same is insane. Break down, re-roll, let go, don't hold the fold. My mind is a home analytical dome. I think up a win and you're watching unfold. Explore and explode the crystal like foam to shape and remold. Running, running, man. Problems derive from profit, straight heartless. Take a species and squash it. The cost is preposterous. We don't even know the repercussions. Problems toss it, cut corners. Now you got stock options, third world companies to appease for a bunch of shit that we really don't need. The products pump is cockiness, ego tripping, relying on nonsense, material mess, environmental stress, raping this planet till there's nothing fucking left. Ignore all the signs, read between the lines, blatantly divide, deny, and they lie. Nothing left to eat, start the killing and the crime. Inflation on life, no basic human rights, ravage the village, straight pillage in the middle of the night. Running, running, man. Believe these seeds burning trees in the breeze, some sort of product will appease my empty needs. Running, running, man. The space escapes boundaries in my face. Debate, learn from past apes. There's more at stake. Our minds we have raped. Misplaced hate, competitive waste. Reckless stress conquers my taste. Quick sedatives, pace repetitive tricks. Convince these kids there's more to this shit than what we conceive. Materialistic seeds. Running, running, man. Profit, profit. You can't really stop it. Environmental stress ain't no stopping. We're treating Mother Earth like a whore was rented. Shit on her women, turn them into sinners. Hook them on drugs, too late, true love. This someone's daughter who ain't never getting up. Ship them overseas, dirty factories. Fill them full of drugs and killing all their dreams. Profit, profit. You can't really stop it. When currency's in you and me, we go heartless. Running, running, man. I have a music video for that song as well, Running Man, and it is a long one. It's like 7 minutes. So I tried to do some sort of short film, and I had no performance shots, no rapping to the camera. It was all just kind of a story narration, and my friend Deanna played a character in it, and I was kind of like an investigative reporter that got too far into a story and basically got wiped out at the end. And the imagination kind of makes the ending of it, so it's kind of up to the viewer to think what happens to me at the end. But it's a it's a good, interesting video. It was I always try and do something different for each music video I make. I try to make it unique and different from the other ones. So I have 8 in total of my own from 2 albums, and I have a few that I've done with a buddy of mine, Ben, from a couple of years ago. So I probably have a dozen music videos that I've done for myself, and I would like to do some for other artists too. I've had many opportunities and they just didn't pan out sometimes. You know, it's the way it goes. Um, but yeah, it's I don't know. The music video is not really. It doesn't seem as important nowadays, but it's just still it's an art form. It's something I enjoy doing. It's something I enjoy to showcase the song, to promote the song, to give a different spin on the song too. Like it gives it a whole different meaning to it, right? So I'm gonna read one more song, and it's from the Bad Meat LP. Now this song is wordy. It's very wordy, and I basically wrote it freestyle, kind of, or ghostwriting, or not ghostwriting. I call it like free form writing, where it's just you're not even thinking, and you just kind of you let it flow. You really just don't. You try not to correct yourself so quickly because sometimes when you write, you're correcting the lines. But this is just like you got to get it out. It's sloppy, but you get like the gist of it. So this song was pretty much all freehand written shit I was watching and going down the rabbit holes and shit like that. And I was big into conspiracy theories, and I just don't give a fuck anymore, really. Honestly, I just don't have any stake or any outcome anymore. I just don't care, and I just want to be a positive person. I want to be productive. I want to be a helpful part of my community. I want to be involved. I want to keep doing my music so I can motivate somebody else to. I don't know. There's a lot more to it than just trying to make some dough off it. It's a lot of fun. I like it. So I'm gonna read this one to you. It has a lot of weird theories out there, so just have an open mind. This one is called Open Eye, and there's a violin on it that I made with this guy Nathan Rotter. I think I'm saying your last name right. But he was fantastic on it, and my friend Narani again, she sang on it, and I had an idea for the hook. I had it. I knew the words were right. I knew that these were good lyrics, but I tried to not sing them, but I tried to rap them, and it just didn't come off right. And I had a friend of mine. He can kind of do some R&B stuff. He tried it, and it wasn't working right. And then Narani laid it down and just killed it. Like she just got this voice that very unique. She's a very unique voice and a very unique talent. Anyway, so I'm gonna read this for you. This is for you, the only viewer. So 15 years been in hibernation. Wake and bake got high with the whole nation. Nation, it's now safe to fly your family on a Disney vacation. The terrace vacated. To Saudi Arabia, covered it up like child molestation. Vatican priest displacement. Crackhead mayor reinstatement. Murderous cop paid vacations. The bank bailout repayment. Globalized disaster. Human trafficker. Slave labor ambassador. Try not to be brainwashed by these idealists, just a realist being labeled a conspiracy theorist. Scream dreams, cream preaching, and begging pyramid screams. Fools fooled by everything they preach, feeling gracious for making these high interest payments. Investments in a nation in globalized enslavement. Ain't it great to be living in a world filled with so much ignorance and hatred? Civilized obedience into enslavement. Get some of the good life and keep making those payments. Using the poor nations for globalized enslavement, slave labor payments, and affordable arrangements. And then the hook goes, sung by Narani. I've opened up my eyes to see the world around me, and I've opened up my mind to the language that surrounds me. I've opened up my eyes to see the world around me, and I've opened up my mind to the language that surrounds me. Bruce Willis said it was a controlled demolition, numerous cancerous witnesses. having reminiscing at Building 7 in the middle of the night, and Sam Jackson building all the hype. Wiped out every witness in sight, and the only thing that happened is we lost all our rights. Deviled eyes revealed into modern times, prophets of rhythms, portions of our mind. Purchase of acid, recorded sets of surface crimes, scorched demolition, no more evidence left to file. The documented catastrophe, glad to be living in an action scene, and all those Hollywood movies made a believer out of me. What happened to Building 7? Oh my gosh, Wally Beef. An action movie on 911 is what we collectively achieved to see. So pack up your evidence, rights in your conscience. Riot police have been set for a state of nonsense. Order out of chaos. And the hook goes again. I've opened up my eyes to see the world around me. And I've opened up my eyes to the language that surrounds me. I've opened up my eyes to see the world around me. And I've opened up my mind to the language that surrounds me. Years of stinking toilet lobbyists paid billions and held back energy solutions. Evidence disputed into public amusement. The news is the source of this manipulated movement. Shades of character, cascades of time, the monumental skyscrapers of our mind. Caretakers and hordes of scarable, hordes of terrible, unspeakable crimes, and that's why the politicians speak to you at prime time. Yeah. So, thanks for tuning in, nobody. But that's the fucking way she goes. That's the way the cookie crumbles, you know? It's what we do. It's what it is. What it be. Anyway, so I'm going to wrap this bitch up. And thanks for joining me. But before we go, we have a special guest in the booth. So we're going to interview him up next. So be back in a second. Be right back. All right, we got Alien. Is that your name? Yes. Wow, you sound awful lot like me. Yes, we can use your voice to translate your language. I can use your mind to hear your thoughts. Okay, then what am I thinking right now? You are thinking you want to smoke some marijuana. How did you know that? I can read your mind, that's why. Okay, this is tripping me out because you sound like me, and now you're talking back to me in my own voice. So, what brings you here to our planet Earth? We have come to share a message with you, Earthlings, that this is the time. This is the time for love and consciousness. This is the time to share. This is the time to give. Oh, that's some great advice. Thank you so much. Yeah, you were a big star in my first one of my music videos, Cool Cats. How did you enjoy that? Was that a fun time for you? Yes, I had a great time visiting you in your apartment, and we shot the music video. We went up to Tremblant, and It was lots of fun. Well, thanks, Alien, for being here with me tonight. Thanks for dropping in and being my guest. And, come by anytime. You're always welcome to come to the studio here and chat with us anytime. Thanks for having me. And back to your galaxy. Thank you so much, Focus, for having me on your show. I will be gone and come back with love and lots of weed. Well, thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you in the coming years. So, all right. Good luck. So that was some riveting television, wasn't that? That was fantastic. I'd like to thank my guest Alien for coming to the show, and it was great. I don't know how he used my voice to translate, use my own voice to answer questions to me, so that was kind of throwing me off. Um, yeah, so I am going to read a bedtime story for you, and this is weird, uh, but I like to mix in a little humor with shit. And my mother she's got a good sense of humor, and she bought me this book. It's called Goodnight Bush, and it's a parody on the famous book Goodnight Moon. But I don't know. I might get taken down for copyright infringement, or I might get a strike for copyright infringement. I'm pretty good on YouTube. I have no strikes. I've never had anything flagged or anything. So we're gonna try it out. Fuck it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the pictures and read the dialogue in the book. So here we go. This is fucking ridiculous. Okay, so good night moon or good night bush. Here we go. We got one viewer. Fucking awesome. There we go. Can we see this? Is it too bright? In the situation room, there was a toy and a flight and okay. Oh, that's not the. Oh, that is this. We're gonna start again. In the situation room, there was a toy world and a flight costume and a picture of a refinery plume. And there were war profiteers giving 3 cheers. A nation great and a church and state. What? Oh, yeah. Sorry. A pair of towers and a balance of power. A grand old party to war in a rush. A quiet Dick Cheney whispering, hush. Good night, room. Good night, refinery plume. Good night, jets overflying the plume. Oh, that's the page. Sorry. Good night, toy world and the flight costume. Good night, ballot box. Good night, fox. Good night, towers. Good night, balance of power. Good night, constitution. Good night, evolution. Good night, democracy. Good night, privacy. Good night, old growth trees and detainees. This is my favorite page. Good night, allies. Good night, Abu Ghrabi cheese. Oh man, that's a bad one. Good night, contract beheading. Good night, innocent bloodshedding. Good night, nation great, and good night, church and state. Good night, bubble bursting in air. Good night, piggy beyond repair. Good night, rule of law. Good night, Mardi Gras. Good night, grand old party. Good night, war in a rush. Oh, yeah. And good night, Dick Cheney, whispering hush. Good night, Earth. Good night, air. Good night, failures everywhere. Good night, Bush. Say good night. Thank you for indulging in that. That was awful. That was terrible. I pride myself in awful production, and yeah, that's the way she goes. So we're gonna wrap this bitch up, and I'd like to thank my guest Alien coming in from outer space and doing this exclusive interview with us. And check out the podcast on this channel. Check out the music videos. Check out the songs. You can stream the songs. You can buy them on Bandcamp. Buy some music, please. Fucking broke. And yeah, so have a good night, everybody. Stay focused, stay positive, stay loving, stay driven, stay creative. Peace.